Right guys, what's happening? So it is Wednesday today. We are 10 days out from the SAMSON DAUDA Grand Prix. New low weight this morning, dropped 0.4 kilos, so nearly half a kilo. Looking a lot tighter, but food is still low, obviously. Thank you, Cuba. But nah, we've got a job to do. Wednesday, so Wednesday is actually probably my favourite day of the week. Not only is it leg day, I get to get up with Charlotte as Emma's at work early on a Wednesday. So yeah, I've had Charlotte this morning. My mum has her from about, time did she come? My mum has her from about 11. But yeah, I get her up, I get to spend the morning with Charlotte, which I know a lot of people don't get to do that kind of stuff, but it's just yeah, there's nothing better, man. There's nothing better than getting to spend the mornings with your daughter. Like I said, I feel very privileged to be able to do that. I know there's a lot of guys that have to get up and go off to work, but yeah, we live a different life, and super privileged to be able to do that. Yeah, and then legs is Wednesday, and then usually I see Jay afterwards from R&R. Jay is my deep tissue guy. I've been to see Jay now pretty much every week for the last probably 18 months. And one thing which you hear a lot of pros talk about it, and until you start doing it, you don't really understand how beneficial it can actually be. But getting regular tissue work, I think it's one of the most important things when really trying to progress your physique and really chasing any sort of like doing any sport really, which is demanding on your body. You've obviously got to be careful that they don't get in too much, otherwise your body's then got to recover from that. So being 10 days out, so he's, like I said, he's on holiday today, so I don't get to see him this week or next. But at this point anyway, if I did get a massage, it's only like a gentle flush that I'd be getting, which isn't really a deep tissue, just more of a relaxing massage, and something like that you can get from a Thai place. I don't really need like a man giving me a relaxing massage. But if he was here, I probably would. I'd probably go see him after training. But yeah, Jay's sick at what he does, man. He massaged Rob Taylor for years. He massaged Cuba for years. Currently, he does a few pros actually, I think, at the moment. But he is SAMSON DAUDA's main massage guy, and he sees SAMSON weekly as well. SAMSON's Mr. Olympia at the moment, for those that you don't know. But yeah, and he sees me and he looks after me. But as well as it helping with any tightnesses and helps avoid niggles, I do believe that one thing which is again an unspoken thing in bodybuilding is because of the injections that you do. So the massage helps break down the scar tissue from the injections as well. So less chance of getting sore, less chance of getting infections, less chance of it affecting your training, all of that. But yeah, if you don't get deep tissue massage and you're trying to take bodybuilding seriously, it's something that you need to do. I know it can be expensive, but like I said, I believe it's very important in part of my journey and part of my progress. Yeah, so then leg day today. One thing what you might notice as well is I haven't had a training partner for a bit. I find having a training partner, it's very good, but I do see it as more of like it's like a social thing more so with training. I do believe that if you really want to progress your physique, your training has got to be sort of like individual to you, and it's hard to, unless people have got like identical bodies, it can be tricky to cater for two people. But on top of that, I was speaking to Rob about this morning, but on top of that, it's training is me time. I love training, I love being in the gym, and I love being on my own sometimes as well. And I wouldn't go as far as to say it's like meditation or therapy, but I do enjoy that time by myself in the gym. It's just something that I've always loved to do, but the me time, you just can't beat it, man. Yeah, and it's funny this, because I actually had a client that said to me the other day, "Oh, I wish I had a training partner to help me get those extra reps in the gym." And it's kind of like, I honestly feel like training partner can be useful as sort of like to have somebody there, just to make sure if you're doing something that's going to be heavy and you just want to make sure that you can almost like peace of mind for that last rep. Yeah, but you can get anybody in the gym to come over and help you do that. Most gyms, people are friendly. People will spot you. All you need to do is just ask. But yeah, and as well, you can help, like a training partner can help you get force reps, which is an intensifier, but you can also do other intensifiers. You can do drop sets, you can do rest pause sets. Yeah, but at this point in prep, we don't really do any intensifiers. It's just basic straight sets. And even when it comes time to growing, again, basic straight sets I feel work best. Easy to sort of like manipulate, easy to sort of like, like I said before, the more variables you can control, the less fancy you make it, the easier it is to make progress and monitor progress as well. You don't want somebody who's going to be, you don't want to be like, have a training partner one week, it helps you like squeeze out 2 extra reps from like a leg press, and then the week after he's not there. What do? You know what I mean? So it's one of them. But at the moment, I'm loving training by myself. After the show, I probably will get some sessions in with people. Like I said, a bit more social, a bit more chilled. And I was speaking to Rob, and we're probably going to get some sessions in, and we'll get him filmed for you guys as well. Some good old school fashion sessions with the Barnsley Pitbull. But yeah, that's for after the show. I think everybody gets to this point, whether it being like where there's literally like, you're in that very final stage of like a fat loss phase or like a competition, and your brain starts thinking about, right, I want to make progress now. And you start like getting excited about growing, excited about what's to come. But we'll go into that another day, because for now we're on a mission, and we need to finish the job and get peeled, and then get fresh and get stage ready. So the way we like to do it, the way I like to do it with clients, and the way I know what Cuba likes to do, around this time, so 10 to 7 days out, that's sort of the time when you finish pushing. So we should finish pushing for condition in these next sort of like 3 days, and then we can give ourselves a full week to drop fatigue. I know a lot of you love that word as well. So a week to drop fatigue, drop all the water, drop the stress, and get the body fresh, so that we can carb up properly and look as best on stage. Yeah, and I believe I've gone the wrong way. But yeah, right, legs today. I'll see you guys at the gym. So today we've got legs. But when we do legs, we start off with a bicep exercise. I know I said before, obviously execution is the most important thing, and how you do an exercise is what's going to be the main factor, as well as obviously progressing the load for the growth of the muscle. But because we need to bring biceps up, and biceps are a relatively small muscle, they do tend to recover quite fast, as long as you don't overdo it on volume. So we're using frequency as a tool for biceps to bring them up. So at the moment we're training biceps 3 times a week. We've been doing this since I started working with Cuba, since like October, November, and it has worked 100%. My biceps are definitely bigger. Everything's bigger really, and obviously that's from being consistent. But another thing, which those of you that don't really understand this, you need to really get to understand this. We've not really changed any workouts since I've been working with Cuba. Maybe if it's a movement pattern, I might pick a slightly different machine, but for the majority of the time we stick with the same machines, the same exercises, the same movements, and we progress on them, and we milk the fuck out of them. That's how you progress. There's none of this shocking the muscle, different exercise each time. This is what works, right? So another thing when we train legs, this is something I got from Cuba actually. So Cuba's always had a super tight midsection, and what he actually recommended me to do whenever we do start our leg workouts is start with planks. So instead of just doing 2 sets of planks, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be supersetting them with the biceps. So I've got 2 sets of bicep curls here. I'm going to aim to get 10 to 15 reps, then I'm going to go straight into a 60-second plank. Whether I fit in the screen, whether you can see me down there doing my minute plank, yeah. But first exercise, bicep curl, 2 sets, 10 to 15. Right. Remember, all movements but isolations especially, get a focus on that stretch, really control the negative, focus on the contraction. Execution and being accurate as possible on the target muscle. Right. Spot on, right, 60-second plank. So good this. Lemon ears, gas mark 10. Lemon big dog, gas mark 10. Best combo there is, and a bit of creatine. Right. I cut the plank out. You don't need to see a plank, you know what a plank is. Right, 13 reps on that first set. I'm going to go with that again. I know I'll get at least 10. So, ideally, when you're picking your movements, if you can be really locked into a movement, and the more you can be locked into it, and the more you feel like you can isolate the muscle that you're going to be using, the better. And when it comes to biceps, I've not felt a machine that's as good as this. I'm sure there is at other gyms, but at this gym, this one really isolates the biceps. Right, let's go. Second plank. Right. So I know I've spoken about this before, but full range of motion don't always have to mean a full stretch. So what I like to do with most body parts is I like to get a full range of active motion. So if I get to a stretch point where the muscle that we're trying to isolate is no longer sort of like in control and no longer like activated, I've gone too far. So I like to keep a little bit of tension on the muscle at all times. Still get a maximal range of motion, but like I said, the maximal range of motion with tension still on the muscle. Right, seated hamstring curls. We've got 2 sets of 10 to 15 on these. Notice how as well, one thing what I got from Rob and Cuba, the more parallel you can keep the feet, the better. Ideally, you don't want to be turning your toes out. The more parallel you can keep your feet, and if anything, slightly duck-footed, the more you can isolate your hamstrings. Set number 2. 15-16 reps on that first set. We don't need to go lighter because I want to get somewhere between 10 and 15, so same weight, same again, at least 10. Ugh. I feel these seated hamstring curls more than anything, man. I've torn my hamstring, it passed, and I tore my adductor. I had a bad tear in my adductor doing wrestling a few years ago. But what I find is, with the seated hamstring curl, I can proper isolate with hamstrings and proper be super accurate on them. I don't use no glutes, no adductor, just pure hamstring. And what I've noticed this last month, and I did it last year in prep, I've just got to be very careful because I just don't want to tear that adductor again. And I noticed that like the standing curl, lying curl, they do aggravate it a little bit. So I've really just been like, I've really been focusing on these and getting as much out of these as I can. But yeah, hamstrings is something that I need to bring up. And from the connection that I've learned now through this prep, using the seated hamstring curl, it's something that's definitely going to happen. Right, that's 2 sets done. Let's get a set on stiff legs before we go into quads. If you've seen the Crocs and you're wondering why I'm wearing them, or if you're just a crocator in general, first reason, I couldn't give a fuck what anybody thinks what I wear. But second reason, in prep and in deep off season, one in off season when you feel that swollen that taking your shoes off is a mission, and then obviously in prep when you don't have the fucking energy to get down and untie your shoelaces. It's just so easy just to wear Crocs so you can kick them on and kick them off. Again, oh, why don't you get some trainers what you can squat in? So I like wearing Asics, me, and the heel's just a bit too thick, and I just don't feel as like locked in when I'm leg pressing, hack squatting, or deadlifting. And what I did was I was looking for one day I was looking for some trainers to wear. Thought, right, what do the pros wear? What do people have good legs wear? And then like I remember seeing Ronnie Coleman wearing fucking boots. I don't know about boots in this one. And I thought, right, who's got money and who's gonna buy the best lifting shoes there is available if you can get them. And I went on Chris Bumstead's page, and every time he's leg pressing, deadlifting, hack squatting, he's got no fucking shoes on, man. He's barefoot. So if it's good enough for Chris Bumstead, it's good enough for me. Right, stiff legs. Don't need to do not crazier. It was super accurate. Just focus on hamstrings and glutes. Ideally more hamstrings, but using a little bit of glutes, a little bit of low back is inevitable. But the less low back we can use, and the more glutes and hamstrings we can isolate, the better. Right, just a steady set now. One set, 8 to 10. Feel like I could have squeezed out another, but Cuba said today 1-2 reps in reserve. So to me that just means not to full failure. If I'm not 100% sure I can get the rep, even if it's 90% sure, don't get it. I'm at that point now where squeezing out them extra reps ain't gonna serve no benefit, man. Risk reward ratio is not worth it. And again, I don't know if you can see, but similar to the hamstring curl, feet as parallel as possible. The more parallel your feet are when you're trying to do a stiff leg hinge, leg curl, the more you can isolate your hams. I used to do it all the time where I'd turn my toes right out because it felt comfy, and you end up missing your hams, just smashing glutes. But yeah, happy with that set. Right, let's move on to quads. Right, leg extensions. Ideally, 2 sets 10 to 15 on these. Want to avoid trying to do force reps. As soon as I feel like I can't do a full complete rep, the set's over. We'll get at least 10. I've dropped the weight by about 20%. I want to get in that same rep range again, 10 to 15. But these now, I want to focus on quality more than anything else. Make sure I get nice and deep, and make sure I get all the way up as well. Again, as soon as I do a rep where I can't get to the top, that'll be the last rep. Don't need to force nothing at this stage. Right, let's go. So, leg press. So the reason why I use this leg press in particular, the hammer strength leg press, is such a common leg press. You find it in most gyms. So I find that if I ever train at a different gym, if I ever go away anywhere, like the majority of good gyms have the exact same leg press. So I'm able to milk the fuck out of this for a long time. Yeah, if this as well, so a leg press, I find that this is going to be your main quad builder. This is going to put the most mass on your legs. If your quads are a weak point, then I'd potentially even think about starting on the leg press. Whereas, like me, and I used to do that, and it blew my quads up crazy. But if, for example, you're someone like me, who your hamstrings are a weak point, then what I'd always suggest is starting off your leg days with hamstring curl. Really isolate your hamstrings. So that's why on both of my leg days, what you'll see is we start off with a hamstring curl, and then we do a stiff leg before we move on to the quad stuff. But yeah, again, compound quad movement. We only need one set of this because it's a strong body part and because it's so taxing. We don't need to overdo it, especially not at 10 weeks out. Sorry, 10 days out. 10 weeks out. But yeah, as we get back into the off season and food starts going up higher, recovery is better. Then we probably will add another set, maybe 2 max to this. But for now, one working set. I want to get ideally between 8 and 12 on this. Again, nothing forced. As soon as I do a rep where I feel like I'm not sure if I'm going to get another one, then I'm not going to go for it. Right. One good set, let's make it a good one. Main thing on this is controlling that negative. And I was speaking to one of my clients about this the other day, so when you get to the bottom, doesn't necessarily need to be a pause, but you do want to try and take the momentum out of it. Not only will you get more out of your quads, but you'll just save your knees so much shit in the process, man. So since I've dropped the weight massively, like I used to, like even when I trained with Rob, we used to do some crazy weight. We used to do double this weight, but we would never take the momentum out of the bottom and we'd just rep it out. And it's fun, but it destroys your CNS and your knees just as much as it destroys the muscle. And obviously the goal is to isolate the muscle with as little damage to your CNS and your joints as possible. Alright, let's see if I can do it. Bottled it a bit on that last rep. Legs are tired, man. But that'll do, I'm happy with that. Close enough to failure as I need to go. Especially at 10 days out. If you didn't know, 10 days out. Thing where I always used to mess up. Intra. So it's called intra for a reason. I used to sip it and I'd be still sipping it on the way out the door when I'd finished. But now, make sure you finish that. Maybe even on your second to last exercise. Yeah. Create that demand for your post-workout when you're finished. Right, again, no crazy weight on this. Execution over everything. We've done a little tickler on 2 plates just as a warm-up. And then for this last set, so one working set on this, for the last main set of the day, I just want one set, 6 to 10. Said it before, in off season, usually do 2 working sets. Probably go slightly higher reps as well. But as recovery is not going to be there, we don't need as many reps. Some people think that the lower reps demand more recovery, but I tell you what, they don't. Higher reps, more stress on the muscle, more recovery is needed. But yeah, enough talking. One good set, let's make it count. Let's go. Ooh. That'll do. That'll do. I'm not grinding no reps. Oh, shit. Lines have disappeared, man. Look at that. What do you think? Legs up pumped. Right, let's go do some calves. Quality set that, I'm happy with that. Right, calves. Again, volume not crazy high. In off season when food's higher, 3 times a week, 2 exercises at a time, 2 working sets each. But obviously now, towards the end of prep, the mission is just to try and hold on to the muscle that we've got. So 3 times a week, it's just, we alternate exercises. So what day are we on now? Wednesday. Tuesday, at end of workout, I did 2 sets seated. And then Saturday, I think I did seated on Saturday. So today, Wednesday, we're gonna do some standing. Yeah. If this video don't make the cut, it's because they look pathetic. But it's something that we must do. And I know I used to do it, and that's why they're so shit. And I know a lot of you guys do it. I know a lot of you guys actually skip leg day, actually, which is pathetic. But yeah, I skipped calves because I just got lazy with it for many years, and it comes and bites you in the ass. But yeah, 2 working sets on this. Quality over everything. Hopefully they look like a training, but probably not. Right, let's go. We'll do a little rest, then we'll do another set of that. So yeah, looking forward to growing, man. I said it in Karen way, every bodybuilder, everyone who diets, when you get to some final stages, you do start, it is hard to not think about what's next. And the leaner you get, the more evident your weak points become. And you just get sort of like, you start moving towards in your mind thinking, right, this needs to get bigger, this needs to get bigger, this needs to get bigger. That's what bodybuilding is really, it's the constant pursuit of perfection. And you're never going to be fully happy. You can be happy with how you look, but I think that's what I love about it really. That no matter how far you get, you can always make progress, you can always get better. And it's bodybuilding as well, your own body, it's something that you're always in control of. But yeah, ideally next year, more of everything, but specifically more calves, more hamstrings, a bit better glutes, more arms, more back. A little bit more shoulders, then obviously chest will just keep coming up, quads will keep coming up. But yeah, exciting times ahead, exciting times ahead. I'm not one of these guys that just puts everything into the 12 weeks of the pre-contest and then switches off and like loses purpose, gets the fucking post-show blues. I've never really understood that myself. The competing side of it, that's just a way just to sort of like track your progress, see where you are. It's not the be all and end all. Because ultimately, if you love what you do, it's like with everything. It sounds cliche, but it's the journey, man. Like the work that you're putting in every day, just like seeing progress. What is there not to love about it? Obviously, you can get obsessed, but who says that you shouldn't be obsessed with what you do? Especially if you love it, especially if all that does is bring value to your life. Since I've gone all in with bodybuilding and decided to compete, everything's been better in my life, man. I've got more clients. I've been able to look after my family better as a result. I remember when people used to try and put me off back in the day. There's no money in bodybuilding. I don't know how you do it. Blah blah blah. Maybe not directly, but indirectly. Fucking hell. Some people make a killing. Some people make a killing from coaching and don't even step on stage. You don't need to. Right, last set of these. Finish some leg raises. 2 sets of 20. Another thing I do this year, abs. It's another thing that people get lazy with. Apparently not the guys who originally went to the gym to try and get girls. But I've said it before, that was never me. I always went gym for me. I just wanted to get massive. First time I seen Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger in. I knew that I needed to get big. And then I remember seeing Ronnie Coleman and I thought, this is what I need to do. But yeah, abs. Since last year, one of the judges' feedback was I need to get my abs better. So again, because it's a small body part, learn how to get a good contraction on it, learn how to hit it good. And then keep frequency high because it'll recover quick. So train abs pretty much every time. Every time I train, I either start with abs or finish with abs. Like I said, when we train legs, and you can do it with other body parts really. Anything where you're doing sort of like heavy compounds. I do like to start with 2 sets of 60-second planks. Not only it helps keep it tight, but it also helps you. It reminds you to control it as you're doing your big exercises. Right, let's go. Little rest, one more set. So one last set of 20. And then it's home time. Chill time. Listen to a podcast, chill out. Think for way home I've got been rating the golden syrup flavour cream of rice at the moment. So I've got that, and I've got the carrot cake whey, Maddie's flavour. I think we've just run out of that, but soon it's back in stock. Carrot cake, lemon cheesecake, they are the best flavours. Fact. Oh, and another thing that I did mention, I'm not sure if a lot of you know this, but I am the first, or I was the first official Gas Mark 10 sponsored athlete. Nothing to do with robbing my best mate. But yeah, right, last set, then let's get home. Done. So that's one thing. I don't know if you guys notice it. I try not to do it, but I'll watch some bodybuilder training on his YouTube, and during his set he looks at the camera, and I don't know about you, but it's fucking weird as fuck. I just find it so weird, like a bit cringy. But yeah, right. Thanks for watching, guys. If you got out of this, drop a like, drop a comment. If you got any suggestions, drop me a message.